Hello again. This is just a follow on from the exercise I did where we did exercises with our eyes shut. And it's a small exercise that you can do that's much more practical in practicing switching off some of that extreme focus vision and hopefully helping you to get used to widening your vision so it's much more use of periphery. Just as a side note, as well as when we overuse our focusing on the floor, being not very helpful for our balance in terms of switching off some of our attention to our feet. It's also, a lot of it comes from, is stimulated by the fight or flight mechanism. So it tends to start because we're fearful of falling or in a fearful situation. It also tends to be something that we start to do when we're in a period of anxiety or stress, which many of us may be in at present circumstances with COVID. And unfortunately, it's something that we've got much more used to doing, this focus vision, because of course a lot of us are spending far too much time looking at our telephone screens quite close to us. It's quite a unnatural thing, really. If you think normally when we were roaming the hills and hunting and outside a lot more, we'd be using our peripheral vision for the majority of the time and only using the focus vision for very small amounts, maybe for food preparation, that sort of thing. So we are spending a lot more time with our eyes highly focused throughout the day, and I think it's probably not terribly helpful for our mental health and our ability to relax. So actually this is a win-win exercise, quick exercise. Firstly, it's in noticing when we're focusing very hard on close vision. And secondly, it's practicing opening out our vision so that we're encompassing a lot more of the peripheral. So as a good exercise to do, you can do this in standing or sitting. I'm doing it in sitting today. Just relaxing, becoming aware of where you're sat in the chair or aware of your feet on the floor if you're standing. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And just focusing ahead of you and becoming gradually aware of a much bigger picture. So you can start off a spot on your wall and then gradually become much more aware of the whole periphery. So keeping your eyes still but allowing the whole picture to enter your eyes. If you find that quite difficult, the other way of doing that is focusing on your fingers and bringing your fingers gradually apart while you look straight ahead and just keeping aware of your fingers and where they are. So making sure that you can still see them. I'm aware they've come out of the picture. So I'm wiggling my fingers so that I can still be aware of where they are even though I'm looking forwards. And just about there, I lose them. So you can use that, and once you reach that stage, let your fingers drop and keep your awareness of that whole picture. It's a really nice technique to help with relaxation too, and just switching off from this close vision to more peripheral vision really helps with relaxation. And practice that so that you get better and better at it, so that when you come to standing and moving around, just becoming so that you are using this peripheral vision while you're moving. And that's a nice thing to practice as you're moving around your home. So if you're using a walking frame, doing that and taking a few steps and stopping and becoming aware and switching back to that peripheral vision. Because if we're using our peripheral vision well, we're getting a full picture of the floor. We're seeing something that we might be coming up to that could possibly be a trip hazard. And so becoming aware of that, your brain will remember that. And if you remember back to when you were feeling very confident in your walking and in the way that you moved, that your brain would remember, oh, there's a carpet coming up, or a trip hazard coming up in about 3 foot. And it will automatically take that into account as you're moving. You don't need to be staring directly at each step ahead of you in order to register those things that are happening. And in fact, that action of looking down makes you flex. So again, it cuts out some of your balance that you've got. And the action of looking down means that you're listening to your eyes and not to your legs. So actually, it's quite an impedance to your balance system and how efficient you are. So I just thought that I would share that video with you, so that as well as the exercise where you're holding on to something and you're closing your eyes, you've got another technique which you can use and practice whenever you're walking around. And it's a nice habit to get into if whenever you stand up, so remembering always that we are grounding ourselves with our feet, becoming aware of our legs before we stand up. So whenever you stand up, you then give yourself a moment to feel your feet, but also to allow your eyes to be relaxed and to be aware of the whole picture, so that they don't become the bossy, dominating, I must look at the floor in order to keep you safe, because that's not necessarily true and doesn't allow you to use the whole system that you have, which is actually very effective of keeping you safe. So I'll sign off for there. Stay safe, work within what feels good, and enjoy.